pop culture. Everything is permitted.
Welcome to episode 43 of Everything is Permitted here at Wade's Comic Madness. I'm your host, Julian Brown, alongside my co-hosts, the Man of Steel, Matt Reppert, and the Master of Puns, Brittany Tomes. How we doing?
My mic has like little hairs all over it.
I was watching Brittany pick the hairs off.
I was like, when did you hit puberty?
Even the mics go through that special time.
Oh my God.
She's just like, went straight to gray hair.
Oh, not good.
Wow.
Kind of like Baby Yoda.
Just
Yeah.
Baby Yoda.
Need to get some just for microphones.
Guys, I never do this on the show. This is going to be a first time we've ever done anything like this.
I'm scared.
We're not doing intros. We're not doing what we're going to talk about on the show. We're not doing rants and raves. We're not even going to get into the permitted minute quite yet because it is time for
The Raiders of the Bargain Bin. Help us.
Raiders of the Bargain Bin.
Oh, man.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
I need to bargain for my life after this.
Brittany, you took the words right out of my mouth just now because I wish I could have bargained not to buy this movie when I was at Best Buy. It is the biggest mistake I have ever made in my life.
I remember this movie was on our radar. You and I had discussed it a while back and said we were waiting for it to hit because we knew it was going to.
Okay, and here's the story.
And a hit
So
it is not.
if you don't know, if you didn't see our Facebook page, if you don't know what movie we're doing for Raiders of the Bargain Bin this month, it is the Taron Egerton Robin Hood film along with Jamie Foxx and a really good actor in Ben Mendelsohn too. I'm hurting.
This film was full of wasted potential. It really was.
And the story behind this too is that Matt and I went Black Friday shopping, and I came across it.
It was like $5
for $5.84, not in a bargain bin. This was on the main shelf.
That should have been your first red flag.
It really should have. It really should have, and yet here we are.
Oh my God.
There's a reason we are going right into Raiders of the Bargain Bin because I have to get this anxiety
I know you have to get it out.
that I have off of my chest because we're gonna get into everybody's thoughts.
Let's just, look at the audience score though. I'm just
we're
looking at
we're
that
getting
right
there.
now.
We're
Not
getting
enough
there.
medieval Kevlar could protect us from what this film was.
When I say that this is maybe the worst movie I've ever seen, I don't think that is a stretch. I really don't. We're going to get into it. First, as always, when it comes to Raiders of the Bargain Bin, we are going to look at the Rotten Tomato score. The critic score, I think we all can agree that this is pretty much right there, 15%.
Yes.
Okay? And then it gets a little dodgy because we're looking at this audience score, and there are 41% of people that liked this movie.
And that 41% of people have never seen any sort of Robin Hood film or read the story before in their lives. Because I don't know what you were on, but this was a horrible film.
Or they like Taron Egerton or something like that.
Yeah.
Or they've never seen an AMC Artisan film.
Or they just wanted really cool industrial explosions in a non-industrial time period.
They're
Maybe they were, hold on, hear me out. Maybe they were like
Oh my
fashion
God.
designers and they really liked all the modern clothing they were wearing. I love that slightly torn Henley.
Is that peacock you're wearing? Is that an ostrich jacket?
I love that leather jacket he has on. Let's
Yeah.
put it in the movie.
It's getting in the way. Let's cut it shorter. And I was like, oh my God.
And as much as I love our loyal listeners, I will say that someone on our Facebook page, one of our, I guess a listener, a subscriber,
You know who you are.
you know who you are, said that you enjoyed this movie. Well, sir, we are silently judging you. And if you would like, we are going to give you the opportunity to come on this show and defend yourself. So if you want to do that, this is your invitation. Email us at permittedpod@gmail.com and we will have you on the show next week before we do the rest of our show.
I was going to say, you can defend yourself like the medieval soldiers that had riot shields.
Riot shields,
Riot
and
shields.
RPGs.
Let's just start initial. Let's not even get into the
let's
meat
do
and
it.
potatoes
During
of
the
this movie.
Crusade period. The third
as much as
Crusade.
I would like to go first, Matt, Raiders of the Bargain Bin is your baby, and this has been on both of our radars. So Out with it, sir. Your initial thoughts on Robin Hood.
So honestly, and I agree with, because I was kind of looking up some critic stuff before we came over, and I have to agree with the general consensus is that a lot of critics said you wasted this cast.
Oh God, yes.
I mean, Taron Egerton is a fantastic young actor. Like, the dude's got a bright future ahead of him. Like, he killed it as Elton John in Rocket Man. From what I haven't seen Rocket Man, but everything I've heard, it's a great movie. Jamie Foxx is an Academy Award winner. I'm not a huge fan of him. And Ben Mendelsohn, who, like, he's carved out that niche as, like, the bad guy in movies, and he's really good at it. Like,
and
Rogue One.
He actually wasn't even the problem with this movie. His jacket
was a huge problem. But yeah, I mean, like, this movie was just an insane mishmash of just crap that didn't work.
When it came down to just drama of the two of them talking to each other
Yes.
and about the actual underlying issues of the film, you were like, wow, this is good.
Literally, it was, I think, like the 2 minutes of the movie where none of us were talking.
Yeah.
Were those scenes where they were sharing the screen together.
And then it went back to this literally Green Arrow plot. Like,
they literally called the Robin Hood the Hood.
This is if, like, Oliver Queen went to the Crusades and then came back to, you know, he came back from the island and then London's a changed place. You know what I mean? Like,
he stepped through a time portal while on the island.
It's like Marvel's What If, or it's like Elseworlds.
Pretty much.
Oh my God.
But yeah, this
Flash should have just shown up and been like, wrong timeline.
But yeah, this was not a good movie. That's that's my initial thought, and I cannot wait to get into the thick of this movie.
Oh my God, Brittany, your initial thoughts on the Hood?
I feel like there were probably a lot of good people that worked on this film in various areas of production, but could not pick a cohesive direction. Like, the art and design people probably had an idea of, they're like, oh, they want to twist it and make it modern. Let's do this. But it conflicted so much, and it takes you out of the movie. You're like, what is this Hunger Games-esque weird rich people scene, which Matt said the funniest thing I've ever heard
in the whole fucking world.
They're at this weird, like, casino where all the rich people are, like, gambling and doing these things, and you're just like, where is this coming from? They look like they're from the Hunger Games. And he turns and he says,
I said somewhere in the background, Finn and Rose are, like, standing, and Rose says, like, I don't like this place.
Because they're literally, like, war profiteering, and you're just like, oh my God, this is it. It's literally Star Wars.
It is Canto Bite. They have appeared on Canto Bite in Robin Hood.
I was hoping a stampede would come in and just, like, do it.
And that whole scene alone deserves this.
Get your shit together.
Like,
it really does.
Like, what
It was weird.
happened there?
Their outfits didn't make any sense. Like,
The
director couldn't decide if everybody was going to be British or not.
the
Like,
prostitutes and the high heels
oh my God.
and everything.
Yeah, I was like,
Where
where
did
do
you
they
get
come
those
from?
shoes? Where did you get those nice necklaces? Oh, hey, dude, really nice
They had, like, glitter
beanie.
painted
Did you
on
stop
their
at
face.
Rite Aid on the way to the
There
Crusades?
were literally
like,
beanies in this movie. Like we pointed out many times, there's sparks flying, like somebody's welding, which makes no sense. Like, they don't have gas, yet they have, like, weird weapons that are supposed to mimic our modern day war. Not to mention the beginning of the film, which makes the
Oh my
Crusades
God.
look like it was SEAL Team 6.
I'm gonna get to that.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
It makes them look like they're doing, like, in the military, it's called MOUT, which is like military operations in urban terrain. In
With
like
fucking
Baghdad,
bows
like,
and arrows.
like they're pie in the corner with a
Yeah.
with a frickin'
They
English
are.
longbow.
and
It's
holding it
amazing.
the whole time.
Matt, you were over there. They were holding those bows like
no,
LMGs, right?
No, honestly, and I think you had the best idea. Is if you want to make Robin Hood modern day, make it modern day. I
Yeah.
actually would have been totally fine.
I
with
would've
that.
loved it. Yep.
Like that. This actually would have been an interesting movie. Like, hey, you could do a modern like take on like the rich taking from the lower people and stuff like that.
Instead, they were like, hey, we're vaguely in the Middle East. Let's make it look like modern day war in the Middle East. And I was like, what is happening?
So the minute that we started this movie for me, and there, he gets drafted.
It's this draft notice.
It's literally a draft
And it's like
notice.
signed, Love, Sheriff of Nottingham.
As he's awkwardly making out with Maid Marian for like 5 minutes without taking off any clothes.
Yeah, they would not stop
That was like
that.
a 30-second scene that they just kept splitting up awkwardly in editing.
It was awful edits. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I don't know if I'm in the Crusades or like I'm in the shits in Fallujah. Like,
Yeah, I was about to say,
they like Brittany said, they literally looked like they were soldiers. They had like Kevlar type looking outfits.
Yep. So stupid.
The lingo, they were using words like
He's like,
troops.
the troops and the unit. Stay
And
with
the
the unit.
unit.
Stay with the unit, Robin.
Like, those words might not even been part of the English language yet.
Stupid.
Speaking of like how did Jamie Foxx speak?
Oh my God.
He's supposed to be Arabic, or at least speak Arabic. And they didn't even really get into the background of his character.
Well, and I'm like, and I think one of you said like maybe like 10, 15 minutes in this movie, it's like, oh, this is already like we already given up hope, and I'm like, well, hold on, like let's, and then like I think literally 5 minutes later, I'm like, is this over yet?
He tells him his name in Arabic, and he tries to pronounce it.
That was
like
it.
A classic
And he
random white protagonist, and he's just like, oh, well, in your language, it's John, and we're like, this
Like,
is
this
Little
is
John?
Little John.
time out. Holy shit. We're going back to the Green Arrow. It's Oliver and Diggle.
Exactly. They must have seen that dynamic on TV and been like,
why isn't Guggenheim suing the shit out of these people?
he probably didn't want their money that they don't have because this obviously didn't make the money they
Like,
needed.
I don't know if the Muslim character is like a more recent addition to the Robin Hood mythology, because obviously I'm thinking of the Kevin Costner with,
Which is still the best Robin Hood adaptation.
and that's, I don't know, Robin Hood Men in Tights.
No.
not,
Prince
I'm
of
talking
Thieves.
about like an actual Robin
Prince of
Hood story
Thieves.
that's not
That took
comedy
itself
or
Okay,
seriously.
fine.
satire.
Okay, so I don't know if the Morgan Freeman, like Aziz, I think was his name,
Yep.
and back in that movie, I don't know if he's like a modern addition to this, but I thought that's what Jamie Foxx was going to be.
But
But
that was
he,
cool.
he's freaking Little John. Like,
yeah.
I remember as soon as he said like it's John, I think I literally was like, you got to be shitting
Yeah, I'm
me.
like, why couldn't you make him Aziz?
Like,
you know?
like Little John, I always thought was this Cockney, like not educated dude who's like, oh, who the hell are you? Like,
Meanwhile, you got Jason fucking Bourne as Little John, like dodging arrows and like putting his arm into like scalding hot
He
water.
straight up
and
gets his
shit.
arm chopped off.
Chopped
his
off.
hand, no, his hand. It's his left
Yeah,
hand.
It
I
is
know.
his hand,
His
but
left
still.
hand gets chopped off, and then he becomes Robin Hood's right hand man. He does literally.
He becomes his Alfred to his Batman.
It is. This movie had heavy, like, Batman Dark Knight trilogy vibes.
Yes, they
So much. They copied a lot.
they took everything from like
It
almost
killed
every movie.
me as they were mobilizing near like the climax of the movie, and it's the Dark Knight, like it's like the Hans Zimmer, even though
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer did not touch the score with a 10-foot pole.
Thank God.
Like that Hans Zimmer-esque score playing with people walking down steps with no sound effects,
Yeah.
which is right
Right out of
out
Batman.
of Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Like,
And they were,
come
like, all had their masks on, protesting, like, V for Vendetta style. They all have Molotovs. Oh, my God.
I'm sorry,
throwing
like,
at the
yeah.
riot shields.
Where did
The
you get?
shield's
Where
pushing
did
the
you get
fire
the
out of the
Oh,
fuel?
way.
my God.
It's not how fire
Physics made
works.
no sense in this. They drove horses straight through walls, and I'm sorry, but the animal would have not done that to hurt itself. And you pointed that out.
I did.
Like,
It's like a horse is not going to do what a Humvee does in a modern war film and go through a fence. A horse is going to be like, oh shit, that's my head. We're going to either turn around and knock everybody off of
Or
our,
like,
our back, or yeah, exactly.
I could have forgiven
No.
that.
No.
I could have, because I've seen horses do a lot of unrealistic horse shit in movies for the sake.
Oh,
I know, right?
unintentional,
Unintentional
pun.
pun.
I like it.
Like, I can forgive that. I can suspend my disbelief to a degree. But like, as soon when like they lit that whole line of fire, and the dudes with the shields literally pushed the fire out of the way
For, like, the bad guy to walk
Yeah,
through.
so Ben Mendelsohn, the sheriff of Nottingham, could walk through it, and I mean, and they literally
and they just
parted
stood there.
It was
And they
like
stood there
Moses
holding-
parting the Red
Yes,
Sea.
I was.
and I was like, that's not how fire works, and also you're going to die.
Even if, let's say, for the sake of argument's sake, you could move fire like that, which you can't, that steel that they were using as riot shields
they would've been
would
fucking dead.
burn the fuck out of you.
Like, if they had like thrown their shields on the fire and he like walked over it, and
That
then
would
like,
make more
oh,
sense.
that would have made sense. Like, okay, you know, they're kind of
His feet would be
smothering
really
it.
hot, though.
Well, it'd take a little bit for it
Melts
to
his
heat
little,
up. But
his sneakers that he was wearing. That's totally half the people in the film had.
There were times where
boots?
some of the audience, I think
The
I pointed
extras?
this out. I said it looks like some of them are wearing modern day sneakers or modern day boots.
to which
that are
Brittany said they probably
probably were.
I mean, we had Rite Aid beanie,
Yeah.
which was a recurring, like, main
I know
character.
that's a Rite Aid beanie because I bought one in Chicago in the bitter fucking cold going to go on a boat tour.
Or their t-shirts that had the actual little
They did.
collar.
Hemlines, man. I was
had
like, nice
hems.
hemline, brah. Like,
Like, where'd you get that? Is the cotton gin even a thing yet? God, they're like literally made RPGs out of arrows. They're just like, oh, let's just light the stick of dynamite at the end and shoot it and then blow up your whole carriage. And I was like, where are we?
here's what hurts too, is that all of those costumes and all of that set design was actually really cool. But it made no historical sense whether you said that this movie is like suspended in disbelief in a different kind of England. Like, no.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't work.
They should have committed to just steampunkiness or just make it modern. Or if they wanted to do it like they did A Knight's Tale, just super over the top campy, like commit to it. This movie tried to be serious, but be campy, and it was so bad.
Or how, and actually, apparently, I was reading about the legend, like Guy of Gisborne is like apparently Blackwater in this. Like,
SEAL Team 6.
yeah, he's like a former soldier turned like mercenary for hire. But apparently that is actually true to the legend, which I was totally surprised about.
You know who he reminded me of immediately? The lead character from Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Captain Price.
Captain Price.
That was the whole beginning of this movie. It
was.
was just Robin Hood Modern Warfare.
It was with Captain Price.
The Crusades.
Oh, God.
Can't wait for that DLC.
The automatic crossbows, the RPG crossbows.
Medieval Kevlar armor.
The way they held the weapons, like literally they light something on fire
Like a
and
flare.
blow up the carriage, and I'm like, that's
And
an
they
RPG.
literally call them rock throwers. Alert the rock throwers. And I'm like, you were literally saying some weird modern stuff, and now you're going to call
the rock
those
throwers.
guys
rock
rock throwers.
You can't call them trebuchets.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, you
audience
can't
might
say
not know what that
something
is.
This movie also had
Alert the caterpillars. I mean catapults.
some of the worst inconsistencies and like complete bullshit as far as injuries and
Yes.
believability as disguises go. First of all, how many times did Taron Egerton not have his
His magical blue
magical
mask up.
blue mask up? Everybody in the world had to have seen his fucking face.
They definitely tried to Great Wall this with like the colors for their main characters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
But it did not work.
And meanwhile, Ben Mendelsohn's like, "Oh, you're like my new best friend. Like you're an asshole like me. I haven't seen your face, or I don't recognize you. Come on, Loxley, let's go talk to the Cardinal."
And that's the funny thing as well, is that like nobody puts two and two together. Like, oh, this guy the Hood shows up, and at the same time, Robin of Loxley reappears back from the wars. And when he's like, oh, he must be like a veteran or something like that, I was waiting like, and he put it together. You're almost there, Sheriff.
Which is something I actually
That's
loved
the scene,
about Arrow.
the James Bond scene.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's what I loved about Arrow. Like by the time Arrow's over, like everybody basically says to Oliver, "Yeah, we knew you were the Green Arrow the whole fucking time.
Yeah,
we just let you get
because-
away with it." Like,
Because you appeared and he appeared.
yeah.
And also the fact is that like they like rather than have like Prince John as like the ultimate big bad who's like controlling the sheriff, they made it the Cardinal of the Catholic Church. Because they basically, and I had to look this up because we were talking so much shit on this movie. I actually had to look up the plot point. The church was paying the Saracens and the Crusaders so that they would
they were double
keep at
dipping.
war with each other, so that way they could just overthrow the
profiteer.
kingdom.
That was
and take over
that was
the country.
in actual history, right? No.
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 I mean, throughout history, people do fund both sides
Yeah,
of wars.
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've done it.
Canto
as a
bite,
country.
ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
It all comes back to Canto
Going
bite.
back to the Canto Bite scene when he's literally talking to the bad guy across the casino table, and
Yeah, because roulette was invented already.
and it was ridiculous. And Maid Marian walks up next to him, or Mary in this one, and his name kept being Rob.
Rob,
Oh,
what's
so
up,
annoying.
Rob?
What up, Rob?
She's next to him, and like he's literally doing that thing where like bad guys calling you out on low key possibly being James Bond. He's like, I'm not James Bond, and then she goes up next to him and it's like, well, I support him. Like it was straight out of a Bond film. This whole scenario, and I was like, the bad guy knows you're the good guy or his bad guy. Like what is happening?
Let's also talk about the amount of times that he got shot and walked away.
At least 2 times. He got
Yep.
shot in
The
he got
leg.
shot in the thigh, which should have hobbled him. You think he would have had like a slight, like, because we all thought that they would see him limping a little bit and be like,
and that would be
Robin Hood was shot in the leg. He must be him.
Wasted.
Yeah, and then
Wasted
he got
potential.
shot in the fucking
Got
chest.
shot in the chest and
In the heart.
ran away like nothing
And
fucking
continued fighting
happened.
through the rest of the movie.
and
He
the-
didn't get patched up.
And the best part about that whole thing about him getting shot in the chest is like, he was wearing armor. Oh, he was wearing padded armor. Those motherfuckers are wearing steel plate that he's shooting with
getting
arrows.
killed with
And they're
arrows.
instantly
Yeah,
dead.
and he would
like,
just one shot them all. I
Guys,
was like,
plot arrows, come on.
yeah, plot armor was so thick in this movie.
armor piercing arrows.
But anyway, you had protesters that looked like they were in a Banksy.
Literally,
Dang.
one of the protesters with his bandana up had like a paisley bandana.
It was like a red paisley, right?
No, it was like
Or
black
black?
paisley, but
Okay.
it was paisley.
Oh my god.
They probably told the extras just like bring some stuff from home, like just we'll try to mash this together.
Meanwhile, Captain Price is like sticking his thumb in there, and he's like, "Whatever." Like, I'm just gonna call him Captain Price for the sake of it.
Kind of was, yeah.
The Guy or Guy of Gisborne. I think
Guys,
is that.
is there anything even close to resembling any kind of hope or saving grace of this movie?
At least Friend Request and Midway both stuck to their time periods. That's all I can say
And
about
plots.
this. And plots. They knew what they were, unfortunately.
Like, I mean, honestly, the only slight positive I'll give this movie is the cast. Like, they tried. they tried, like Taron Egerton and and Ben Mendelsohn, like they tried. Their scenes together, we already said, like were actually decent to watch.
I wish you could give awards for trying.
You know how
almost
sometimes some Star
You
Wars
tried award.
Star Wars fans will have conversations. I think I was talking about it with someone at the table as we had a game night last night at my place. It was our big ugly sweater Christmas party.
It was wild.
It was wild and it was a blast.
And I won so many.
And you did, and you yelled at me so much. We were talking about how, like a movie like The Phantom Menace, like it's not good. It's awful.
Yeah.
But somewhere within Phantom Menace is a good movie.
And nostalgia.
And yes, and nostalgia. And somewhere within Robin Hood, even though, like I said, probably like my least favorite movie of all time, scenes with him and Ben Mendelsohn, and then maybe bringing this movie into the modern day, maybe makes this something more tangible and okay.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, like, and I know we don't do this heavily, but like bring it to the modern day, like, okay, it takes place in Britain, so guns aren't a big thing, so he has to use a cross, like an arrow in order to go around and all that stuff. Like, I mean, like you could actually do something really interesting.
You really
set
could.
This in the modern day.
Really could.
You really could, and they just like, I don't know if it's the director, if it was the studio, or somehow Leonardo DiCaprio who produced this movie. Like,
I was about to say, in a movie that's about unfair taxes, this was definitely a tax write-off. For
oh yes, like because I looked up and I think it lost, like, I mean, but it's definitely lost more. But like I think it only made like $75 million against the $100 million
made
production.
$75 million.
I'm sure
who went and saw this movie.
Well, you
Leonardo
got to
DiCaprio.
remember the first weekend or two, people are like, "Oh, I'll go see Robin Hood. I like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and maybe this will be good."
It promised to be a no thoughts involved at all action adventure, and it hit every horrible action thing I've ever seen in my life.
The green screen and the chase.
Dude, there was an obvious green screen I pointed out like 3 times. I was like, dude.
Whenever they were
Did they get
using the
lazy?
fire too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, every time it showed that little mining town, because everybody got get kicked out of the town proper and had to live at the mines. You saw those little bursts of flame,
just like
that come out of random
sparks, just like randomly.
I
Yeah,
literally felt like I was watching Blade Runner, and it was like, wah,
And the whole thing, and also Will Scarlet, they tried to sequel bait this movie, like Will Scarlet becoming the new sheriff
and then
of Nottingham.
going into Sherwood Forest, like in the last minute of the movie.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, the Wikipedia page describes Jamie Foxx as Little John, like the leader of
the Merry Men.
of the Merry Men. I'm like, the who?
There
Like,
was nothing
he's not
merry
even
about
involved
these
with
men.
anybody else but like
No,
the main character.
Yeah,
the whole
exactly.
time.
Like, and the funny thing, and we even pointed this out during the movie, is that they're doing these heists, and there's that one where Jamie Foxx is driving the chariot. He's wearing no face
disguise.
cover or anything
Yeah.
like that. He's like one of 2 or 3 black people that appear in this movie, and he has like the face tattoos and everything, and
he's
like.
obviously like supposed to be Arabic.
Yeah, and he shows up when there's this big gathering. He's
Keywords
like,
supposed
Lord
to be.
Loxley, we have to go. And I'm just like, nobody recognizes this dude? Like, nobody's like, wait, that black guy that called Robin of Loxley, like, that's him. That's the guy right there.
That's been hanging out with him the whole time he's been back. Like,
Literally the people that were fighting in the Crusades.
yeah, I don't know.
And oh god,
Go ahead.
like, and then they never did they ever really touch upon why he stows away in the ship, goes back to England
Because
with them?
he saw something special in
Yeah,
little
like
Loxley.
his son, like Little John's son, is executed right in front of him by Guy of Gisborne. I forgot
Captain Price.
By Captain Price. He's executed right in front of him. It obviously breaks him. He's upset. He's angry and everything like that. So rather than get revenge on the guy who killed his son, he instead follows Robin of Loxley, stows away at the bottom of the quote hospital ship for 3 months, basically to and I was like, wait, why isn't he like hunting down this dude who murdered his son?
And
Like,
he's just like, thanks for trying to save my son. Now I'm going to train you. Like, why didn't you train your son like that? Like, maybe he wouldn't have gotten caught and killed.
oh Jesus,
Made
I
no
always
sense.
remind you to mind your surroundings.
Oh my god.
you're unwise to lower your defenses.
Oh man.
But first, you must snatch the grasshopper from my hand.
This movie will always have beanie hats and good hemlines.
I hated it. And the training sequences. Oh my god. Talk about Rocky 4.
Oh
And
yes, when he's getting swole. Oh, my god.
Just like pushing a wagon wheel.
And he
then,
adds
like,
more chains.
Doom, doom, like dropping down like different targets. Where did those targets come
I
from?
normally
Did he paint
don't-
all those? Like they had full people on
the
them.
little fresco, the
Yeah.
religious frescoes.
Just like,
I don't normally talk about like how much time we've talked about speaking of something. We've already torn this movie apart for 26 minutes.
It doesn't even feel that long.
I feel like it's only been 10 minutes.
To be fair, the movie did go on, like, what did you say, 40 minutes longer than
Oh
it
my
had
God.
to?
I kept on asking if it's over.
It was 2 hours too long. This movie should not have been.
Remember
made.
when the movie itself said, and that would be the ending or whatever, like, this is where it
Fairy
should
tale
end,
ending, right?
But it doesn't
But it
end
doesn't. I'm
here.
like,
And you're
well, it goddamn well should have.
You know it's bad if the movie begins with, like, forget everything you know about Robin Hood. This is not that story.
I'd really
Like,
rather not.
I'd rather remember the good times.
I missed Kevin Costner. I never thought I'd.
I
say
know. I
that.
never thought I'd say that.
I miss Russell Crowe.
Oh God, I never saw that one.
It wasn't bad. It just wasn't Robin Hood. Guys, let's get to the bargain bin meter score, which is ever evolving. We also should mention. And Matt, we'll start with you. Your bargain bin meter score, sir.
So I am tempted to say garage sale, but as I said, I will give Taron Egerton, Ben Mendelsohn some credit for their scenes. So I will say dollar store.
You are too kind.
I know.
You are too kind.
I know I am.
Brittany.
I wouldn't even buy this if somebody had it available at $1 at a garage sale. Sorry, for $1. I never want to watch this movie again in my life, so I'm going to put garage sale. Not to, like, the actors tried, but at the same time, this movie robbed me of 2 hours of my life. Pun heavily intended.
You know,
Oh, they could have used this, actually. That would have made it more believable.
as I said, the bargain bin meter score is ever evolving. I'm with Brittany. I wouldn't even buy this at a garage sale, and I spent $5 on it at Best Buy. I'm not even giving it garage sale. I want a fucking refund.
He wanted to curb stomp the DVD at the end.
I did. I'm giving it refund. I want a refund.
Wow, we reached a new level.
We have
that's-
reached a new level of the bargain bin.
I won't even like that. I'll say that's like a special occasion rating. 'Cause
No, that is a special
Refund?
occasion rating. We started the show with Raiders of the Bargain Bin, which is all you need to know. And I think it is best if we just stop there, because otherwise
the entire episode could be about this movie.
It-
We
yeah.
could
it
shit on this
legitimately
movie
could.
for the entire episode.
It would have been great if we had it like a live feed of us watching it. People would have lost their minds. But, watch it for yourself if you really want to know.
Please don't.
Please don't. Ever. I will never condone watching this film.
Oh my God.
Matt's
We're
dying.
gonna kill Matt by the end of this episode.
Oh Jesus.
Speaking of today's episode, we have a great rest of the show planned for you. We will be reviewing Chapter 6 of the Baby Yoda Show, aka The Mandalorian, and then we are also going to wrap things up with going over some of the shocks and omissions of the Golden Globe ballot here. So we're not going to go over everything, but we have a few select choices that we are going to go over there. But as always, let's do some rants and raves, even though I think we just did that for about 28 minutes already. Matt, rant or rave?
Honestly, I have like nothing, because that movie was the equivalent of a palate cleanser. It was like, because I was at a wedding a couple weeks ago, and like we had our little cocktail hour, and they gave us that little lemon
Oh, the
ice cream.
sherbet to
That was what this movie did. I might have had something. This movie just completely wiped my mind. Like
More like a habanero than the lemon sherbet. Like it just completely destroyed
So, like your habanero poppers last night? The bacon?
jalapeno poppers.
Jalapenos? Oh, whatever.
Come on.
I didn't eat them, so how would I know?
yeah,
I should have. They were delicious.
I don't like spicy stuff. I'm a sad little white girl, okay?
Brittany, rant or rave?
I was just going to rant about how fun your party was.
Yeah, do it.
yesterday.
Yeah, do it.
I don't know. We got to wear like fun sweaters.
Please kiss my ass.
My
I love
brother
it.
literally had to buy a sweater for your party, and I laughed hysterically when he showed it to me because like I love wolves and it just looks so goofy. So I love that.
Well, Jared got second place in the ugly sweater contest.
Well done,
so
Jared. I got to wear my gremlin sweater, which is my favorite sweater.
I did
I'm
like that. I
surprised
did like
you
that
didn't get
sweater.
any votes. I liked it.
Oh, it's okay. It's because it was a good sweater.
Yeah, it's an awesome sweater.
It is. Last year for our ugly sweater party, I still have it, a Stranger Things ugly sweater, and it's got like the
Demogorgon?
things that are on that pillow that I have, that you can, the sequins.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it turns into the upside
Upside down.
down.
I want that.
It's awesome.
Oh, man.
It's so, I love it.
I want to just get obscure like 80s reference sweaters for the rest of my life.
And the winner this year for best ugly sweater went to our friend Geneva,
Yes.
who's one of our producers, and she also got the prize, which this year we decided was the best Christmas movie of all time, Bruce Willis and Die Hard.
I still say Gremlins, but I agree that it's up there.
her husband Rob really wanted to take home that movie. So Geneva did what everybody should do at an ugly sweater Christmas party where you're voting, and she rallied her votes and got her vote.
She also had a pun on her sweater, so it said Meowseltoff.
Yep.
So I
It
was
was
like,
awesome.
this is it. You beat me at my own game.
That was a lot of fun though. We played some good games.
Yeah, it
we ate
was a
some
board
good
game
food.
night, so
It was a
it's
board
great.
game
My
night.
wife and I still won.
You guys are still the kings
We
of
still are.
we
we didn't
you
get to
got
play.
crabs.
We didn't get to play the first game where we had like more people, but
That was cutthroat.
We dominated the second
I
game.
won the crabs the first game.
Yeah.
Note how I said I won the crabs because out of context people
You
are
got
like,
all,
what?
you got all the crabs.
Brittany's got crabs.
all the crabs.
And then we played some One Night Werewolf and also a great game. Please don't take this out of context. Remember, I'm a Jew.
Coup.
Oh, we also played Coup, but yes, and
yeah.
then we also played a really awesome game in Secret Hitler, which is one of my favorite board games ever, where there's a liberal party and a fascist party, and you have to
Find out who the secret
find out
Hitler
who
is.
the Secret Hitler is. It's an awesome game, and
Yeah.
Brittany yelled at me a lot in
Not,
both
not
games.
during Secret Hitler.
She accused
a
you
little
of being
bit
Hitler.
in both games.
I didn't yell at you during Hitler. I was.
may have a little
I knew that you were in a fascist.
Well, that's
I
true.
pointed out the fascists, and nobody listened to me. So I went, fine. I know who Hitler is.
Anyway, it was a really fun night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, that's why my voice is a little scratchy. It was during Ultimate Werewolf. I was like yelling.
You were
I didn't mean to be,
give-
but you couldn't keep your story straight. I mean, it helped me out because I got away with being a werewolf quite a few times because you fumbled.
I did. I'm not really that great at that game. to be fair.
He was like, "Well, I'm the drunk." I'm like, "You're always the drunk." Yeah,
And I was drunk, so it worked out really well.
it was awesome.
I have a rant, and this is gonna, I think, like make Matt really happy.
It's about
What's
me.
that?
because it's about Chipotle. I yesterday had to go get, like, we still had some supplies to get for the party, so I
Yeah.
went to ShopRite and did some shopping, and we didn't have a lot of other food in the house besides the stuff that we had for the party. So I said, Karen, do you just want to get Chipotle for lunch? She's like, well, isn't it going to be crazy? I'm like, yeah, but I'll put in a mobile order, so I'll be able to pick it up. So I get done shopping, and I have to go make a deposit in the bank and go to Best Buy to buy the Die Hard movie. And I'm like, okay, I'll put in the order now. So after I run both of these errands, and I'm also going to go look for some sidebar, new bowls because we're running out of bowls, it would be ready. So I go to Best Buy. I run into HomeSense to see if they have these bowls that we wanted to buy. They don't. I go to Chipotle, like already 5 minutes past when my order was supposed to be ready. Yeah. Line going around the store.
Jesus.
My order is not ready. And I ask, like, is my order going to be ready? She's like, yeah, we're working on it. I'm like, okay. 10 minutes go by. I'm still sitting there. I'm like, well, there's a game I wanted to get for our game night. And they didn't have it the other day when I went to Target. And it says it was in stock now. So I went to Target and I went to try and get Throw Burrito, which is another game from the Oatmeal. Well, they didn't have it. The website was lying. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Now it's half an hour later. This is half an hour past 1:45 when my order was supposed to be done. Weren't even working on it.
Yikes. Those poor employees.
I made such a scene. I was like, excuse me. It is now half an hour past my order being supposed to be ready. I left the store and came back. What is going on? And they're like, we're working on it now, sir. And I like watched them like a hawk made it. So I even like tweeted at Chipotle. I was
They might
like,
have spit in
if
it.
you can't do on time, like guaranteed by times, don't
do
put
mobile ordering.
do mobile ordering, but just don't put a guaranteed time down. You know, because then like you are opening yourselves up to people like me getting pissed off.
Or
at
maybe
you.
they just need to open a second location in our area because obviously there's such a high demand already.
Well, okay, we've been there. Like that store is small for Chipotle.
I know, but I mean like a closer one nearby, you know, not all the way at Yield and the Chamonix Mall.
Or maybe they should just.
not even the
close.
shit.
I don't know where the other one is.
Thought
it was over there.
Oxford Valley.
Really?
Oh wait, well, there's
No, the new one's near Oxford Valley.
yes, and there's the old
Yeah.
one over by Neshaminy.
That's what I meant.
Yep.
Or maybe they should just close Chipotle, because obviously they can't business.
You shut up.
Matt just doesn't like Chipotle.
No, he liked it. He
It
liked
was
his
fine.
Chipotle
It was
experience.
fine. I wasn't blown away by it.
I
But
like
that's also because Matt doesn't like putting stuff in his burrito, so he got like cheese, rice, and chicken.
Yeah.
Lame.
There's something wrong with that?
Yes,
Oh my
that's not a burrito. That's some cheese.
Remember when
and-
we went to On the Border and everybody ordered, and I was just like, hashtag white people, because it was like
I just
cheese,
put my-
rice, and beans.
hand to my face.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give one of these to Chipotle because I think it is absolutely earned after that experience.
Get your shit together.
Take that.
You should have put it on Chipotle away. Cheeses?
I'd like my Chipotle in
I'm
3
not
months,
giving you
please.
anything. Anyway,
Like some cheeses?
if that's it, I think it is time to get to the permitted minute.
The permitted minute.
The permitted minute. And we are going to go here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mr. Jada, start the clock.
Got Keanu? Well, you'll have plenty on May 21st, 2021, when The Matrix 4 and John Wick 4 release on the same day. Who's ready for a double feature?
During Sony's most recent State of Play, it was announced that following the success of Resident Evil 2 Remaster, Resident Evil 3 is next in line for the treatment.
Microsoft has officially announced the name and look for the next Xbox, formerly called Project Scarlet. Launching in holiday 2020 will be the Xbox Series X. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's literally the Xbox X.
After all the controversial comments about superhero films, Disney CEO Bob Iger has planned to sit down with Martin OK Boomer Scorsese.
Congratulations to Control, a game we have all been raving about as it has been named IGN's 2019 Game of the Year.
Ezra Miller's Flash film isn't quite dead yet. It's now being reported that the film will hit theaters in 2022.
Also hitting theaters from DC in 2022 will be Shazam 2, hitting screens on April Fool's Day, just 4 months after Black Adam releases.
Shazam!
Shazam! Shazam!
Wait, can I point out something before you tell us the time? So Project Scarlet, I just kept thinking of Will Scarlet. And I was like, this film will not leave us. Julian is messed up from this film.
I
guys.
am.
He's been.
You'll hear it on the outtakes maybe later this week, but I had to redo the per minute like 3 times. So look for those outtakes. Jesus, that movie broke me, guys. It broke me hard.
Could you imagine if it actually broke you financially? Like if you really paid full money for that movie? Like, oof.
Imagine if you've paid to see it in theaters.
I can't.
Imagine that.
Could you imagine producing it?
Yeah, Leo. Jeez. Come on, man.
Oh, man.
Leo, when it comes to something like this, I think it's really important, too, that you go ahead and...
Won't somebody please think of the children?
I thought you were going to play something from Titanic when he's like sinking. So it's just like, you just gotta let it go sometimes. Let it sink.
Oh, man.
My heart certainly will not go on.
No, it will
after
not.
This film.
Guys, let's talk about something that we all do love, and that is...
Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda.
Floating in a pod, Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda.
It is time for our Mandalorian Chapter 6 review.
I love that last night when we had the board game night, randomly, every 5 minutes or so, somebody in the house would be like, Baby Yoda, and like we would all join
And
in.
it would go from room to room.
Floating in a pod, Baby Yoda.
I really liked this episode. It was really cool. And it was very like, okay, he is a bounty hunter. Here's some other bounty hunters. Here's how ruthless these people are. Let's get right into it. Brittany, your thoughts on Chapter 6 of The Mandalorian?
I will say that it was a heist episode.
Oh, yeah.
And Rick and Morty recently ruined heist episodes for me
You
because
son of a bitch.
they
I'm
pointed
in.
out how every like heist movie or episode of a show goes, where it's like you randomly have to find 4 to 5 other people, and then you run this heist, and then plot twist, it turns out the heist was already done, and then like whatever.
Yep.
So it literally went through the stages of it, and as I was watching, I found I could not enjoy it as much as my mom, who was sitting next to me, because I was like, this is obviously a trap. Trap happened, and I was like, Mando, you're better than this. And like,
And Mando doesn't kill anybody.
but overall, it was like more fun than last episode, and
Yes.
it introduced a bunch more characters because like the show's been slowly introducing people.
Yeah.
But this was like, hey, ragtag group of people that he probably shouldn't have trusted, but here we are.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he didn't trust them. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he very much didn't trust them. He was not happy that he had to work with these people. That was obvious from
He
the
could have
very
just
beginning
been
of the
like,
episode.
Nope, and flew away.
Yeah, he could have yeeted out of there, but I mean, he needed the money.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's got mouths to feed now.
The things we do for money.
The things we do for babies and love. Matt, your initial thoughts on Chapter 6?
First of all, I can't tell you how pumped I was to see Clancy Brown in this episode as, I forget what their race is called, the horned demon looking sons of bitches.
Oh yeah, I forget the name.
Yeah, I forget what they're called. I forget what his character's name. But at first I was like, that looks like Clancy Brown. If you don't know who Clancy Brown is, I promise you've seen or heard him at some point in your life. If you've watched any kind of media in the last 20 years, he was the main prison guard in The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was him. He was also the Kurgan in Highlander. That's Clancy Brown. He is the voice in SpongeBob SquarePants. He's the voice of the crab.
Mr. Krabs.
Mr. Krabs, yes. So Clancy Brown has been everywhere, and I was so happy to see him in another role. I'm like, Clancy Brown, yes. And also the female Twi'lek.
She was awesome.
Yeah, she played Tonks in the Harry Potter movies.
I knew she was familiar.
She was also
I
in
didn't look
something
her
else.
up.
I remember because I saw an article and there was something else I know her from. I was like,
Game of
she was
Thrones.
in Game of
She was in
Thrones,
Game
yes.
of Thrones, yeah.
Game of
'Cause
Thrones.
I was going to say her face looked familiar, and I didn't get to look it up because I literally watched this morning right before I came over to watch what shall not be named anymore. But yeah, I didn't get to look her up, but I was like, she seems so familiar, and she's really good.
Yeah, she was really good.
And those teefies.
Oh, the teeth were great, and her character was great. Like I
Production value.
thought she was fantastic. Any chick with knives really gets me going. I dig it.
Interesting to know.
Kinks aside.
The things you learn.
I'd say same Julian.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
A good old sword wife. We all need one. Or no, knife wife.
shield
sword,
maiden- a shield
sword
maiden,
girlfriend,
if you
something
will.
like that.
Salt wife.
Salt.
It's salt.
A Star Wars reference in a Star Wars review episode.
No,
would've
but
thought?
I will say though, I liked the episode. It was definitely miles better than the last episode, but I was kind of like a little disappointed that he didn't kill anybody, because to me that's like, all right, you're saving these characters for something else. That's what that tells me.
Or he's just showing he's a good guy.
Yeah, see, I agree with Bernie. I don't think that we're going to see these characters again. Maybe once again, but I think it was more to prove that he's changing.
He blew the hell out
Dude,
of that one
my
bounty
mom-
hunter in the space, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was trying to kill him.
And
was
those
gonna
people
say-
were trying to do what exactly?
They locked him in a cell. They didn't kill him.
Hold on.
They didn't.
My mom really liked the part where he closed the dude with the horns in the door.
Wasn't that
She was
awesome?
straight up like, oh, he got murdered.
But
and then
no,
later
they-
on when they were in, he
nope.
was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, how did he survive that exactly?
He just got clenched a bit.
Ow, stop it, dude.
Ow, my horns blocked it.
My horns.
He was strong though.
Yeah.
But I love it because like it shows, you know how they have the different opening doors, like literally the top one comes down, then he's like, oh, side doors.
I really liked the whole, like you said, like this was a heist episode, and that like every character who was part of the heist crew got their moment, which is something that's in
It's
every
classic heist.
single heist.
He's our
thing.
strong man.
Yep.
She's our knife lady. I'm the guy with all the guns, including a robot arm that pops out
Yep.
of my head.
And I'm the droid in the getaway car.
Yep.
We have the getaway car. We have the muscle. We have the what do you want to call her? Like even you call her knife girl, but she's
literally the one that
stealthy
will, like,
one. Yeah.
Yeah, stealth / she will kill you.
She was the romantic interest because obviously
Yeah.
they had a thing together.
Oh my god! And when he was like, did you guys make this? Like the baby Yoda? I'm like, this is not even the same species.
You never know.
To be fair, you never know. He could take off that helmet and the little ears will pop out. Doesn't make sense for the flashbacks, but that would be really weird.
Well, the finale will be an episode of Maury in Star Wars.
Rando, you are not the father. Oh,
So we have to check your midichlorians.
God.
Oh God.
If I bring up midichlorians, it makes it work. You hate it every episode I bring it up, so I do it.
Oh man.
I guess you can say it was forced.
I'm debating.
You know what? The inside of that prisoner like containment vessel looked really like, you know how there's like the super white tunnels and everything. I was just like, oh, this is very much episode 4 feeling.
Well, they obviously.
I know they did it on purpose.
Well, they obviously had like a pretty small set that they just reused. They made it
Yeah,
like,
and,
oh,
like,
it all
the
looks the
hallways,
same.
yeah.
Instead of just they run down one part of the hallway, move the camera, and
he
like
was like-
move, go the other way.
I did like the return of the bucket heads. You know, the guys with the
Yeah.
the buckets on from
Yeah.
A New Hope.
The scene where they're all holding the guns to each other was just like in The Office, though. You know, when they're like, hey, hey, and they like point the guns around. That's literally what was happening. And then she was just like,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. That
Just
poor
like,
guy was
put it down, put it
never
down,
gonna live.
put
I
it down.
wanted him to, but
Threat level midnight. The Star Wars, a Star Wars story.
Mexican
what
standoff,
if,
baby.
I want to talk about the very end of the episode because Matt, you were disappointed that he let those guys live, but he did kill the droid.
But he
Yeah,
always
Zero-
kills the droid.
Zero the
he
droid-
hates droids.
Yeah, Zero the Droid died, and funny
There-
enough, Zero the Droid. I don't know the actor's name, but it's a British show called the IT or the It Crowd.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. The guy, the black guy.
Yep.
From that
Oh,
show,
yeah,
he,
yep.
he voices Zero.
I was going to say, there were like 7 to 8 droid deaths in this episode.
I know.
Towards one human death. And you're like, intrigue.
Well, once again though, is that
L3
like,
would be pissed.
they once again though
That
is
was
that
a
like they
Solo
did this
reference.
whole
Sando.
they did that whole double cross, even though you watch this dude wreck like 6 to 8 of these like security droids that nobody else wants to take on. And it's just like, yeah, let's piss this dude off and
Just
let's
like
try
last
and-
episode, though.
Yeah,
it's like, I've
exactly.
literally seen this dude wreck people, and I'm going to turn on him.
Yeah, that seemed like a little. It's like this is the dude that is going to maybe get you out of this pickle that you're now in, and you're going to turn your back on him. No.
Yeah, like literally, like there's no advantage to them like doing that to try and push him into the cell and leave him in there. Like, what does it gain them?
They just wanted to take the.
They wanted to be
naval guy.
dicks because he quote left the one guy, you know, at
And it
some
was her
job.
brother, so she was like,
Yeah.
That scene where he like gets the droid to pick the lock and like throws it. Oh, dude, that was.
I like that
was
part. I was
fantastic.
like, you so smart, man.
I want to talk about the very end where he gets paid. It's one of the actors from Sons of Anarchy. He plays Bobby Elvis.
He was also in Batman Begins.
Yep, he was in Batman Begins. You see the Republic X-wings, and Dave Filoni has his cameo as an X-wing pilot.
Nice.
Yep. And they destroy the base after Mando gets paid.
Yeah, I know. So Mando doesn't kill the people, but he kills.
so I'm
he
like-
lets them wipe out the base. Though
That was pretty cutthroat, right?
I think because he knew that they wouldn't let him out of there alive. Like, even though he said, like, doesn't matter how it happens, like, you don't have to tell me. He still didn't trust him, so he was like, here's that beacon, by the way.
Well, and they were going to
Plus, they
send
saw
that.
the baby.
Well, they saw the baby, and he didn't.
No, but the thing is,
the other people
have seen the baby.
and they were going to send that fighter to blow him up at the end too.
also like
Yeah.
why like the X-wings fly right past him coming from the base, and they don't even remark upon the ship. Like, hey, that ship that just left, or like maybe one of us should like break off and like
Yeah,
get
that
it
was
to
a little
stop
suspect too.
or something like that.
I
It's
think
like,
they were
oh,
just worried about the beacon, so they were like,
Yeah.
this is a passing ship. Plus, his is such a rackety old like ship or rickety old ship. It shouldn't have survived through the Empire days.
Apparently,
should have
Like,
been repossessed.
I'm like, oh no, she looked pretty nice, and she's been revamped a lot in the last 6 episodes. So
Mandalorians like to upgrade their shit. Like, come on, it may look like shit. It's like the Falcon. Like,
Yeah.
it may look like shit, but
yeah, he may have dumped everything into
gotta-
armor right
she's
now.
gotta wear
she's got
counts,
where it
kid.
counts. How dare you? I was
He
gonna
put
say
all
that
his
one.
XP and money into the armor right now, but he's gonna get to the ship next. Like, just give us. We need a few more levels, a few more milestones. Do
love it.
Oh, man.
Oh, good stuff.
you want to know my word for this episode or my phrase? I guess.
Well, if we don't have anything else to say, I think we all enjoyed it. Do we want to get to the word? Is the
Might as
bird the
well.
word?
Yeah, just know how I was trying to like end mine at the same sound every single time.
Yeah.
This one's no duh, because they betrayed him, and it was obvious. And he even tells Baby
I
Yoda
hate
at the
you.
end. He tells them at the, like Baby Yoda at the end. He's like, "I told you it was a bad idea." But I was like, "Did Baby Yoda tell you to do this whole plan? Do you want me to buy that? That
be
you
fair-
listen to a 50-year-old baby?"
To be fair, like it's like me talking to my cat. Like that's pretty much what that was. I think. It's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, although he did do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
real
the
quick,
cutest board.
real quick, when especially after Mando kills the droid and Baby Yoda thinks
Looks,
that
he's
he
like-
used the Force to kill him,
Oh
he's
yeah,
like,
it's-
what did I just do?
It is cute that like Baby Yoda did hold it up, because you can tell that he was trying to change his mind, possibly, or like use the Force in a way that would stop him from being shot. But he's a droid, so he doesn't get. Maybe he doesn't understand that, or maybe he was just trying to hold the gun or something.
Yeah.
But he was like,
Hold the blaster bolt
Yeah.
in midair.
that would have been so Kylo Ren of him.
Matt, your word.
I'm gonna say X-wings because
Yeah.
I was totally like when the X-wings appeared, I was like,
That was
yes.
fun. That was like budgets put to use right now.
Yeah, I was immensely happy to see X-wings. So yeah,
My word is Republic. Because they
Yeah,
were
they kept throwing in the
they were
New
just
Republic.
like it's like they were trying to say, okay, like this is the era of the New Republic. They've got the logo on the sleeve. Yeah.
And right away with the beacons like sent off, they're like, "Oh no, the New Republic's gonna come here and nuke us," and we're like, "What? They're just gonna blow up all these prisoners?"
Also,
Right?
can we talk about the fact that weren't the New Republic supposed to disarm? Like that was the whole part of the treaty with the Empire. After in the books, like they're supposed to do a
Armistice
no,
sort of thing?
well
yeah.
they would still have a security force.
They had a security fleet and security force.
yeah, like it wasn't. They're not just gonna be like, oh yeah, we'll give up everything.
But I was a little
it's
more
fine.
concerned they're gonna blow up that whole prisoner vessel.
I view it more as like say a
escort.
like yeah, like they were gonna escort like an aircraft. If like,
Oh,
hey, we're
like
getting
show up.
hijacked, and you see like some fighter jets will like fly
Yeah.
alongside it.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Well, we're a bit of an interesting situation here because they pushed the date forward for episode 7.
They did it on purpose.
They did. So I believe after our Rise of Skywalker review special, we are going to have a 2-episode review on next week's episode. So it's for 7 and 8, it's the 7th, and then the 8th is the finale, I believe.
But the reason they're moving it up is because they're going to show a preview to Rise of
Skywalker. Yep.
In it. So ironically, we will have seen the film before we review the preview.
Yes.
It's all coming together.
It's an Inception.
It's coming together just about the same way Robin Hood did. Not at all, or cohesively.
That movie is going to come up on like every show.
I'd like to say it was pulling at threads, but like the seams were so strong in the clothing that I can't even say that.
Modern day manufacturing does that, you know?
Yeah, right?
It does.
It was all those steam engines they obviously didn't have.
I just don't even know.
Julian's like dead from this movie.
We should like call this episode Robin
Well,
Hooded
okay,
or something.
We also did keep you up till like 2 a.m. last night playing
Until
board
2
games.
a.m. And then I had to wake up a little hungover and then watch this steaming hot pile of garbage.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting 24 hours.
Speaking about things that might let you down.
Yeah, speaking of things that might let you down, depending on if you care about, who wins and who loses, the Golden Globe nominations are out, and there were some shocks and definitely some snubs, at least snubs coming on the TV end, and some actor snubs in the movie end. So we're not gonna go down the entire list here for the Golden Globes, but we're gonna go down some of the big hitters here. So let's start obviously with picture drama for movies. We have The Irishman. Matt, and actually before I continue, you wanted to say that.
Yeah, I was actually like, because we have the kind of the ballot in front of us, that's a printout, and I was actually kind of surprised at how much Netflix like made a huge push this.
Yeah.
Because I mean, for Best Picture drama, you have 3 Netflix movies. You have The Two Popes, Marriage Story, and The Irishman, which I still haven't watched The Irishman, but I know some people who've watched it said it's very good.
It is very good. It is very good. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I'm not the biggest fan of Martin Scorsese right now. So that says a lot coming from me. I can be humble.
And 1917's in this.
I'm excited.
I really want to see it.
Yeah.
I wish there was a theater that was playing it on
Is
Christmas.
AMC not going to do it?
Not on Christmas, I don't think, unless they just haven't put out a time for it yet. Because
Yeah, they could still
I would
do that.
totally go see it.
So yeah, like Matt said, you have 1917 on here, and Marriage Story, and Joker.
Joker, yes.
Are we shocked by anything on this list, or are there any snubs, or were we expecting to see anything on here?
I was surprised when they didn't put like When They See Us and Us on there, but also not surprised because the Academy does stuff like this all the time. But they were very big films that came out this year that had like critical acclaim, audience acclaim, and it's just kind of like not there.
You know what I'm sad not to see on here?
What's that?
Even though I think it's more like because I loved it so much. Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say that. Our favorite films of the year?
It was so good.
Yeah, I don't think Dr. Sleep
I like
has
Dr. Sleep and
anything
It.
in here.
No,
And
it doesn't, and it really
Dr. Sleep nor
disappoints
It
me.
are up here. And
I
really-
don't know if that'll be considered a snub for the general public, but just for us, like we critically acclaimed that film, like thought it deserved awards.
better
No,
at least get an Oscar for something.
it deserved recognition.
Like set design at least. If it doesn't win set design at Oscars, I'm going to be like, what were you watching this year? Tell me.
I mean, to us, it's maybe a snub. I think for the rest of the the people that care about this kind of thing, it's maybe not. But I'm happy to see Joker on there. I don't think it's much of a shock. I'm happy to see Irishman on there, even though I think that it could have been a lot less long. As
Yeah.
much as I did enjoy the whole thing. We're dying to see 1917. I have not watched The Two Popes yet. I would like to watch that.
Yeah, I didn't even know that existed.
I knew about that. I have no idea what Marriage Story is.
No, apparently Scarlett Johansson's in it, though.
Yeah.
'Cause I think
Yep.
she's in Best Actress. So
Let's go into picture for musical or comedy. And on this list is Dolomite Is My Name, another Netflix film.
apparently it's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Mendes. Oh, no, sorry. I was moving over to the director. Sorry. Matt, a movie that we wanted to see and didn't get a chance to. Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah,
I wanted to see that too.
Yeah, I know a lot. Like, because I know some people like were kind of poo-pooing because it's essentially supposedly some people say, oh, it makes like Hitler look like
Makes light of him.
makes light of
But
Hitler.
it's a satirical comic.
Yeah,
so-
and the thing, and I will admit though, I did kind of look up the plot and everything, and like, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but I will say it is dark. It ends in
okay.
a dark
All right.
way. So
That's on there, and then a movie that we saw and that I think you guys enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much. Knives Out is on here. I do want to very quickly sidebar and say I was shocked to hear this coming from my dad, but they thought it was one of the most boring films that they've ever seen, and apparently my stepmom fell asleep during the movie. My dad tried to wake her up and was like, "Why are you waking me up?" Like hated
it
it
was
that much.
slow.
It was
Especially,
slow,
like,
and that's another thing I
for
didn't
the
quite
reveal.
enjoy about it. Honestly, if I had to go back to a review, I'd probably rate it a little lower the more I had to think about it. I do, having said that, think it does deserve to be
It
on
deserves
here.
to be
Yeah,
for
it
comedy.
should be recognized.
For sure.
Yeah. And then a movie that I'm shocked I haven't seen yet because I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I haven't seen it either.
We got some good reviews. I bought it. I still haven't watched it yet. I kind of came to the conclusion that like I like Quentin Tarantino a lot, and I'd like to own like all his movies
Yeah.
if I can.
Except Jackie
so-
Brown.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
I just really
Jackie
hate that
Brown.
movie. And then the Taron Egerton movie we maybe should have watched instead of Robin Hood this
sure.
morning, Rocket Man and his portrayal of
Elton
Elton
John.
John. So no, I don't think there were any snubs on here for musical or comedies that we can think
that I
of.
can
Not
think of.
film wise, no.
Not film wise. All of these I think deserve to be on there. I'd love to see Jojo Rabbit. I'm shocked I haven't seen Rocket Man yet. So yeah, I think those are all good choices. Let's move on to director because Sam Mendes, for one thing, is on there for 1917, a movie that we are dying to see.
Yes.
It's good to see that it's getting recognition because some of these war movies can midway could be absolute bores, and
That was the weirdest sneeze I've ever heard.
I will do a quick sidebar, even though I'm kind of jumping to the Academy Awards a bit. Is that Best Documentary, They Shall Not Roll, cannot be nominated
why not?
because apparently it was released in this weird window where it could not be in the 2018 Academy Awards and it can't be in the 2019, so it cannot be
That
nominated. For
shouldn't
Best
I hate
exist.
how
Documentary.
this
that
shit
shouldn't
works.
exist. It's stupid. There's too many rules that keep things out.
Well, the Academy is so archaic and snooty and dumb in their ways now. Like,
Yeah,
Don't
'cause-
talk about the Jedi Academy that way. You're right, but couldn't get my boy Anakin one good counselor? Like, that kid was going through some trouble at
Hashtag
school.
the Empire did nothing wrong. Also on Best Director, we have Todd Phillips for The Joker. No surprise.
No.
surprise.
And Martin Scorsese.
And OK Boomer Scorsese, I'm going to say it every single time for The Irishman. He does deserve to get that director credit. Again, a long movie, but very well made, very well directed. I
Yes.
think you guys should both watch it if you can carve out 3.5
yeah,
hours of your
three
day.
something hours of my time. Yeah.
I will say that I wasn't that enthralled by Senorita. I don't know why Sam Mendes is up here.
I don't get
Because
it.
it's like Shawn Mendes. It was just a bad pop culture joke.
Yeah, it was.
Do I still have?
You can go womp womp. I actually just forgot his name was Sean. I thought it was Sam, so I was like, why is he up here? Yeah, you're welcome. I deserved it. I'll take it.
I mean,
To be fair, I'm very sleep deprived this week. Last night was my night to sleep, and it didn't happen.
yeah, you were too busy yelling at me. We're gonna skip over screenplay. We're gonna skip. Oh, sorry, and also on there is Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move over. We're not gonna do screenplay. We're not gonna do foreign language film. Let's move over to actor.
Drama.
Brittany, go ahead and give us the actor nominations.
Actor in drama. Should I just read them all off?
You could do it in whatever format you want to do it. It's up to you.
Christian Bale in Ford versus Ferrari. Antonio Banderas in Pain and Glory. Adam Driver in Marriage Story. Joaquin Phoenix in Joker, and Jonathan Pryce in The Two Popes, which I've never even heard of.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. I'm gonna say right away, it makes me so fucking happy that Christian Bale isn't under supporting because he deserved the full-on best actor nod for Ford vs Ferrari.
We both know though that Joaquin Phoenix is more than likely going to win this.
He is, and he probably deserves to. And if I had to give runner-up, it would be Bale, even though both roles are just so good. I mean, two entirely different roles too. I don't know, and I mean, I know about the movie. I don't know anything about The Two Popes. Adam Driver, Kylo Ren. That's who plays
Didn't
Kylo.
Marriage Story just come out though?
It did. They were
Yeah,
talking about
'cause
it on
there's a lot of
Preston and
people that
Steve
are,
a
like,
couple of
raving
days
about
ago.
it.
Yeah. Is anyone missing from Best Actor that we can think of and stuff that we saw?
Dr. Sleep. The
Ewan
entire cast is listing from every single
I
list
know.
on here. And
Do we think Ewan McGregor deserved a Best Actor nod for for this for Dr. Sleep?
I mean, as good as Ewan McGregor was, though, and I know I'm kind of going, but like the fact that and I can't remember her name right now, the girl who played Aberstone, like she doesn't get anything in drama or anything like that. Like there's no mention of her, and that I think was the big snub.
I do too, and I also think that having seen it, that Matt Damon being left off, both actor or supporting, because he was great alongside Christian Bale, was very, very good as Shelby in this. So that was a bit of a snub. IMO. So yeah. Joaquin Phoenix is going to get it. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Now, for actor, musical, or comedy, I think I'm going to pick out who's going to win that pretty easy.
That's easy.
Yeah, it's going to be Taron Egerton.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see him on there. Okay, yeah.
Because first of all, he actually sang Elton John songs. And I know a lot of people who have seen both this and the movie it got compared, Rocket Man, and of course, Bohemian Rhapsody. And a lot of people said Rocket Man was a far superior movie.
I never hear anything good about Bohemian Rhapsody.
It was okay, but it glossed over a lot of things.
They changed the timeline to like make the story more dramatic.
And I understand when movies do that, because sometimes like if you do it by history, like it's not gonna fit narratively and stuff like that. And I'm okay if it makes sense for a movie, but like the whole thing when he was like right before Live Aid when he's like, "Oh, I've got AIDS," and I'm just like that.
It's just like a giant throwaway.
That's
right?
what I meant. Everybody who watched it was like, "What?
Yeah,
that's not how that happened."
Yeah, no. So,
and I think that was a big deal during the whole production of the film. We're getting very off topic, but like the fact that they just glossed over, the fact that he had AIDS.
But yeah, I would say though Daniel Craig would be a close second. As much as I loved him in Knives Out, though, and even though I haven't seen it, everything I've heard, Taron Egerton like crushed it as Elton John.
See, the thing is, Daniel Craig is the hole inside the donut, right? And Taron Egerton, he's the donut fulfilled. He's a jelly donut. He ain't got no hole.
You guys didn't like the jelly donuts last week.
Hold on. I
jelly
said
donut
it was
bites?
surprising the amount of jelly in the donut. It was an explosion. I wasn't prepared.
As much as Knives Out was not one of my favorite movies, Daniel Craig was superb in that. So let's move on. And Matt and I, and I'm sure Brittany has an opinion on it too, are going to rant about The Lion King being under animated feature. Complete, utter bullshit. No place on this list.
The funny thing is, though, is that like it technically is an
'Cause
animated
CGI.
feature. Yeah, but almost the entire movie is CG, and I understand that's why they put it under animated. But
they also labeled it as live action. So, like, which is it, Disney?
Yeah.
Which is it?
And honestly, like, unfortunately, like a movie, I still haven't seen it, but they always make fantastic movies like Missing Link, which got good reviews.
I wanted to see Missing Link.
Yeah, I want to see it. I admire Leica for what they do. Like, they are a fantastic studio that does not get the love they deserve.
I also like the Missing Link icy they had out. It was Missing Link Mango, and it was really good. Y'all know how I am.
If you didn't know, whenever we go to see the movies that we review on the show, Brittany, like clockwork, gets her icy. And now she's got me on the trend of getting an icy, too.
They also had the Addams Family, the black cherry one, but that plot twist will turn your poop green, people.
That was a very shocking moment for me when that happened.
Did I tell you?
You did, but I forgot. And then I saw it. I was like, shit, my shit's green.
It's like for 3 days. Like, it takes a while to get out of your system.
But I will say, though, is that going through the animated features, you got Frozen 2, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, The Lion King, Missing Link, and Toy Story 4. I mean, I haven't seen Frozen 2.
It's going to Frozen 2.
You think so?
It's 100% going to Frozen 2. I'll say it's going to go to Frozen 2 because Frozen 2 is amazing. Like, it's really, really good. Whereas I think that Toy Story 4 shouldn't have been... Listen, I liked it. I thought it was very good.
It was a fine movie, but it
didn't
wasn't.
need to be made.
No, it didn't.
And
what about How to Train Your Dragon, though?
Great, but it's not Frozen.
I haven't seen... As I said, I can't compare it because I haven't seen Frozen 2. So.
Remember, you're not
either.
You're not just talking about animation in these when you're talking about best film. You're talking about the musical. The fact that they're singing.
Yeah, but the thing is, they don't sing in How to Train Your Dragon.
No, I know, but I'm saying
Toy
you have to take that into account. You do. The talent level, all of that. I think it's
I love seeing the memes of How to Train Your Dragon where people are like, I'm going to tell my kids this is how Game of Thrones ends. I'm just like, oh man, quality.
I love. Listen, we went to see it together. I loved The Hidden World. I thought it was very good. You didn't like it as much. You liked it.
No, I liked it, but I mean, and I think you could listen to our review, but I thought that like the villain was weak in this movie.
You mean knock off Ricardo Montalban?
Yes, knock off Ricardo Montalban.
I think it's going to go to Frozen 2. easy.
And that actually makes me sad because that Disney has like a stranglehold on this whole thing. I mean, like maybe missing.
But I'm not
link
just
is-
saying they're giving it to it because it's Frozen. I'm saying because it was really good. You know what I mean?
You know what, Julian? I can't take your expectations after you sold Chipotle to me so hard, and it was okay.
I knew that was coming.
Ooh, he was underwhelmed. He was just whelmed.
He was just whelmed.
I will say,
Oh, go ahead.
praise our overlords, the mega corporation Disney,
Yep.
for they will always win every Oscar season in some way, shape, or form.
Facts.
I'm just saying. They'll win in some category.
We did skip over actress in a drama and musical or comedy just because like there's not any real big stories there.
I was going to say shooketh when they said Ana de Armas for Knives Out,
Yes.
which I wholeheartedly agree with
Yes.
because I am ride or die for that bitch. I kid you not. Love her.
Yeah, but I have a feeling
You just got very excited and I
had to get
I dig it.
excited.
Although, like, I
But then again,
literally,
you got Kate Blanchett up there.
yeah, that's what I was
so-
about to say. I have a feeling Kate Blanchett's going to win it. I mean, I haven't seen any of these movies for drama or musical or
I
comedy.
want to
other than
see
Knives Out.
Bombshell and I want to see Late Night.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind seeing Bombshell, but it's not a movie I think I would see in theaters. I'd
Yeah.
be like happy red boxing it and
Yeah.
watching it at home with the wife and just kind of going, oh man, Fox News is terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna scroll down to the
Ooh, scrolling.
television screen here
Oh.
and wrap up with just two more of these. There weren't really that big of stories with TV. I think the biggest snub that anybody's really been talking about as far as TV series drama best show is the fact that Watchmen is not on this.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
know, right?
I haven't seen
is it
Watchmen.
because
I
it's
haven't either,
technically
but
not
I
done yet?
no. It has
Doesn't
nothing to
matter?
do. Nope.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because it should be up there.
I've seen some reviews that basically, like, because one review I saw of it said Watchmen is like some of the best television in
That's
years.
ever existed,
Yeah,
yeah.
like in years.
I
It's
did
really
not
good.
want to watch it, and now I feel very obligated to watch it because everyone I talked to is just saying amazing
I
things
still have to
about it.
finish it, but my mom recently got all caught up.
I did start watching the show Barry. So I
Oh,
haven't-
Barry's
I haven't seen-
hilarious. We'll get there.
Yeah, yeah.
On the TV series drama list is Big Little Lies, The Crown, which I love. The Crown. I haven't watched season 3 yet, but if I know anything, the next season would be amazing. Obviously about Queen Elizabeth. Killing Eve, a BBC America
Yes.
show. The Morning Show, which is getting pretty good praise. It's one of the Apple TV Plus shows.
Okay.
And then Succession. I have a lot of issues with this list. A lot. For one thing, I haven't watched it, but it's on our list. Again, Jack Ryan should be on this list. Okay. Watchmen should be on this list. And you know what else should be on this list?
The Boys.
I was going to say The Mandalorian, but
It's not. Is it
I wouldn't.
drama?
I wouldn't put the
it's a drama.
It's
Mandalorian.
a comedy.
It's a musical. Don't worry.
I mean, I guess there's somewhere to
Honestly, I don't.
Western.
As much as I enjoy The Mandalorian, I wouldn't put it as a best TV series. Like, it's an enjoyable TV series, but I'm not like, man, this acting and I can't
Yeah,
wait.
like it's nothing compared to Killing Eve.
yeah, it's
period.
like-
fair enough.
Production value even aside.
But we all agree Watchmen is
Oh yeah, it's up there.
a huge snub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Do we want to? We weren't going to do TV series, musical, or comedy, but do we want to touch on it real quick? Because you said you did start watching Barry, which is a hilarious show. I've watched 2 episodes and I love it.
However, I will say this though: is that actor limited series TV movie Jared Harris for Chernobyl is on
Yes.
here, and like he deserves it. Like I've watched a couple of those clips, like the clip when he's in the helicopter when they're going to Chernobyl, and he's like freaking the fuck out when he realizes the reactor's open. And also Stellan Skarsgård is on for Best Supporting Actor for Chernobyl. Like the two of them
Nice.
interacting when Stellan Skarsgård says to the pilot, he goes, "Fly over that building, or I'm going to have you shot."
Yep.
And Jared Harris like goes up to him and says, "If you fly over that building by tomorrow, you will be begging for that bullet." And the guy, and like somebody, I remember in the YouTube comments, somebody said that is acting because like without music, without anything, you've established like how bad this is, how terrified this guy is of what just happened at this power plant. So Jared Harris like deserves it. I hope he wins it. So
That show gave me nightmares.
yeah,
Legit.
Yeah,
It deserves all the praise it's getting. I couldn't finish it. I couldn't watch the last episode. I will, but like it did things
like
to me.
Heather and I watched all of it like almost in like over a 2-day period because we just couldn't stop. Because Heather was like we watched like 2 or 3 episodes, and Heather was like, "I want to keep watching Chernobyl. I want to finish it." So
I was gonna say some things. I think our snubs in the musical comedy TV series section is Schitt's Creek and The Good Place because they're solid comedy series that are both coming to their ends, and they have been like praised throughout their runs, and both of them aren't even on here, and they're about to end. So it's like doesn't it make sense why they're not even up there for
Yeah.
consideration?
We've wanted to watch The Good Place for a really long time and just never have started it.
Well, I mean, it's literally the same person that's made The Office, like Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and now The Good Place. Like, it's all the same person that's run it.
I will also give a quick shout out to Catch 22. It's on limited series or TV movie. Like Heather and I watched it. I bought it on Vudu, and it's one of those shows. Apparently, it's based off a book that most people said you could never make into a movie or a TV show, and George Clooney basically kind of took the mantle to do it. And Heather really loved it, and I really enjoyed it. It kind of delves into the absurdities of war and like just how insane things get, and just like how like, is this really happening? Like that kind of stuff.
I'm glad he took that mantle and not Batman again.
The bat nipples.
Oh, man.
That's not on the Funko Pop that I
Long
share with
live
Julian.
the bat nipples. Guys, these are the very, fussy awards. If you think this is fussy, it's going to get even fussier when Oscar season comes around.
Yeah.
I love
I
Oscar
prefer the
season.
Oscars, though.
I do too. I feel like the Golden Globes is never a very good representation of what we're going to see at the Oscars. So if you want to see what Brittany, Matt, and we all picked for the second annual Golden Gauntlets, voting is live right now. Go vote. Take our ballot. And we are going to be doing the second annual Golden Gauntlets in January. So you have some time to vote. We're going to have some special guests for that episode to read our ballots. What are you doing? What are you doing with that shit?
Holding up the Blu-ray because
I will.
It's got to be in our voting.
That was a good reminder that Robin Hood will be up for, because we are doing our own special category, worst bargain bin film of the year.
I was going to tell them to fill out the ballots because it'll be a snap. It's a Golden Gauntlet.
I mean,
Shame. Shame.
Shame, ironically, is something that Thanos has never felt in his life.
Oh man.
I'm going to actually end the show instead of starting it because we had a weird start to the show. I'm just going to end with a couple of announcements before we wrap up for the day. Our Star Wars rewatch is in full swing. It is Tuesday by the time you're listening to it. So today, as we're recording, should be Empire, Jedi on Monday. So you are on The Force Awakens. So you are in the JJ verse now. So we're
Unless
getting
we're
there.
counting Mandalorian.
Just a couple more days. Keep those decoded words in Arabic coming. The contest is going along. We have 5 people translating these. It's great. I love getting your emails and the excitement every week, so keep those coming. The permitted mystery boxes have shipped, and some of them have been opened, and we've gotten some very good comments about them. So I really hope that you enjoy those. If you like it, maybe we will do it again. Yeah. We had a blast buying that stuff.
It was a fun mall trip,
was a
which
fun
resulted in us all eating Chinese food at the food court.
Japanese, come on.
Oh yeah, we did get Japanese. Never mind.
Teriyaki, come on.
We tried so many, like we were walking up the row.
Exciting week coming up for us. On Saturday, we will have our live Rise of Skywalker review special here at Wade's Comic Madness. We are hoping to have an audience. We are going to have door prizes. Come ask us questions. Tell us what you liked about the movie. We want you to come. We're going to have a great setup here. It's going to be a blast. Then we'll have episode 44 for you next week. This has been episode 43. Have a good night.
You can find Everything is Permitted on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Everything is Permitted is produced by Rob Bigliaccio, Nikki Veazey, and Geneva Stein-Shivers. Our executive producers are Michael Cox, Brittany Tomes and the Tomes family, and Julian Brown.